Hello, hello! My lovely Ligari. What is going on, guys? We're going to be going Shen support. I don't have too much practice with Shen support, but that's what we're gonna do right now. This is a ranked game, because you might as well get the real flavor. One of the things that I like to do, we're gonna be taking Q, because it's an amazing ability. It's like an empowered sword. All right, so what is going on in there? Alright, so anyway, just Lucian in our jungle creating being a butt. I'm gonna be trying sort of a double jungle to help out Jax. I'm gonna try to not take his experience. Just speeding it along. And mostly because the way that I see it, oh, he still needs to, the way that I see it, Vayne isn't going to, cause any early stirs. So getting Jax ahead, I feel, is a good idea. Now Jax, it can be like, alright, so we should definitely... Alright, so I'm going to exit on out. Vayne is going to make the mistake of getting too close to Lucian's blasts, but that's alright. It's early yet in the game. Let's see how Jax is doing. So what I was counting on for our Jax is after he was done with the rounds that he would help bot lane or something like that. And because these guys, well, they tend to be pushed up, it was going to put them in an awkward position, and thus we could get a kill and start snowballing in that fashion. But it doesn't always work out that way. There we go. Now, I guess Orianna was AFK or something? But now that Vayne can farm, I'm going to go about influencing the map in other ways. Now, I might assume that Annie warded right there.
There is no dispute.
I would love it. Looks like he's too low.
Tread carefully.
Wish I could,
There is
An enemy has been slain.
I don't think she can see me. But she's still too, like, close to her tower.
balanced steps.
So I will head bot.
An ally has been slain.
This is the, I think that's the second time I've seen, see if I can get out.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice, I got out.
So I
It's an odd place to put the ward. Alright. Gonna back on out. Gonna get a few nice fancy items. I'll get some boots. Since the way that I'm playing this is kind of mobility angled.
a shadow.
An enemy has been slain.
Looks like Syndra had some luck there.
Our wills align. From the shadow.
Alright, so Annie has no ultimate.
Immediately.
Let's see if Jax can.
Balanced steps.
Alright. So Jax wasn't able to come when I asked him to. And hopefully he'll get out, but I don't think so. So I'm gonna inform Jax. Jax, come when I ask you to. Alright. Now Vayne is a little upset, but if you look at the map, there's no reason for her to be upset. Top is winning, and that's good. It has really nothing to do with like our performance in mid or anything like that. Now Vayne is frustrated, so she's going to vent that frustration by sending what I would call obscene signals.
There is no dispute.
But if you look at her current situation, go. She's doing just fine. Gonna get a little experience here. Would have liked that. I think Vayne died. Oh wow. Now we lost bot tower, but it might have been prevented if Vayne wasn't so, if she tried to concentrate on CS and playing safe. And also, like, Syndra is telling her the same thing. Alright, so we should get this really easy. Let's see if I can get away. Oh, that's a shame. Alright, let's see. I think I want some Ninja Tabi. Wow, I'm surprised that Syndra got caught out like that. Wow, that Jarvan.
Our wills align.
Alright, so I should have... Unfortunately, I don't get my ultimate until fairly late into the game. But because I'm a tank,
Balance steps.
that doesn't matter so much. At least somebody got it. I'm not sure exactly why he wanted to go for that though. Alright, so we were a little too deep there. Oh, Pantheon blew a flash. So I want to get, I think I want to get Balmy's Cinder
An ally has
next.
been slain.
There is no dispute. So I go. Immediately.
Unstoppable.
Looks like Jarvan is really cleaning house. Alright, so now I have ultimate, which will be helpful. Ooh. Nice. Do we want to get Dragon? Because that is kind of up. Alright, so Jax is gonna get old Draggy. And we're just gonna walk on out. Alright, so we're gonna be working towards a Sunfire Cape.
So I go.
So at this stage in the game,
There is no dispute.
map presence is looking mighty sweet for us. Oh, Found your little secret there, guys. That looks pretty dangerous.
An ally has been slain.
Huh!
Tread carefully. Immediately. Our wills align.
All right. All right, we can just ease on out of there.
There is no dispute.
All right. All right. Ooh, she blocked it. That's pretty cool. Alright, so we're gonna get a little magic defense for Annie.
Slain.
Press on.
Head on out. We've got our ultimate up. That's a good idea for oh, that's so cool! She reminds me of the Zora guys from Legend of Zelda. They totally took that from that. Doo 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 doo. I wonder if I want to surprise somebody in this bush. I want to surprise. No, knew that I was there.
An enemy has been slain.
Oh, that's kind of silly. Alright. Let's see if he can leap on over. Oh, he's just gonna flash. And then he goes back into the fun. Alright, Spectre's Cowl. I think he's sated now. Which is pretty scary. Sated Jax. Is he getting, he sure is. Rage Blade. So he's sated, he's got his Rage Blade. He is a dangerous boy. And, I've got a bit before my, ultimate. Huh. You could probably go for Baron, I would think. But we need the rest of the group to get with the program.
So I go.
Oh, that's kind of silly. Use your ultimate like that on the tank. Alright, Jack should be going down. His positioning was bad. My ultimate should be up, so I'll be able to join the fight if one starts up. I think I should go down here and start cleaning up that group. Yeah, she was pretty much toast. Here we go. Right. I have a feeling she should like stay a little farther back. 'Cause I remember they had that worded before.
Has destroyed a turret.
Without a sound.
Yikes, that damage. Alright. This might be it. Huh. Poor gal. Why so easy? All right. My goodness. Wasn't that fun, everybody? Shen support. Level 13 and still wreaking havoc. But it is also due to the fact that Jarvan just went, oh man, 14-0 and 10. That's amazing. The Vayne didn't do too well, but she would have did a little better, but I don't think my presence early on would have made that much of a difference. I had hoped that Jax would have come down to bot lane after I helped him out with farm, but he didn't. That's okay. And the Jax, he helped with damaging things, but he died an awful lot. So there was some positioning issues with Jax. I know for that one time. So if it happened once, it might have happened several times. The Syndra, she was good. So, protecting that Jarvan in Syndra. And the Vayne was probably good, but she had a rough lane. Because the way that I decided to play the game. But hey now. We had the momentum. We had so much momentum there in the beginning. Or throughout the mid, you could see that we were winning, but then they didn't come over, they didn't ace us or anything like that, where the odds would be, gaining in their favor by a substantial amount. The two dangerous factors on their team were the Annie and the Lucian. Lucian especially, I didn't realize he had so much damage output because of the Lord Dominik regards he's got. And even the Pantheon, so 3 people on their team that were pretty solid. The Orianna, I feel like Orianna as a support has issues because Orianna needs items to do damage. She doesn't have I feel like without items, she can't utilize her kit well, meaning you get your ball, you do the big, orb attack, and then everybody, gets sucked in and a ton of damage is done. Like, that's sort of like a coordinated thing. And Orianna's support it's lackluster, because you need those items. Oh my goodness. So let's do a little item analyzation. Shen, Ninja Tabi to deal with Lucian, and Sunfire Cape to deal with close quarter combat. Spectre's Cal to do with some of Annie's damage. And given that they were the 2 most powerful guys on their team, that isn't too bad. Face the Mountain for some health and some protecting qualities. Jarvan went a hybrid, which is awesome. You've got Jarvan with Black Cleaver and Titanic Hydra for sustain, Deadman Plate for speed defense, Randuin's Omen, and Mercury Treads, and so that's good. He was also working on, it looks like a Frozen Heart to deal with attack damage. So he is a monster. He was a monster this game. But somebody, our team's got to have somebody who's shining through. Jarvan just shined through tremendously. Otherwise, we would have had a tough game. Because even though I felt like helping Jax was a good thing, he wasn't so good as to. He was good at taking objectives and getting down turrets and stuff, and that is valuable. So don't discount anyone's value, just because they can't kill or don't have like too good a position. I made some errors on the fact that I wasn't watching Lucian's itemization, and I didn't think that. Well, I should have guessed that he was building a Lord's Dominik's Regards, and he had the item capacity to do it because he was able to kill Vayne a number of times in lane. In retrospect, roaming is it can be dangerous because of the level issue, but you get some leeway with champions that have stuns, binds, and are tanky or utilitarian, because those utilitarian things, they're still, if the bind catches somebody, another person just has to wail on them. So it's possible, but there is of course some risk involved because you are not as high as a level. But if you're building defensively, I feel like you could say that I'm 2 levels higher than that, rather than if I go offensively, because you can always run away from things, and when you're playing offensively, it's kind of like you gotta go all in or nothing, sort of. Let's see, the Vayne looks like she was going critical hit Vayne, and that's fine. Well, with the only tank issue is Pantheon, and that's the time when Blade the Rune King would be most effective. Vayne's kit goes with Blade of the Rune King so well, but perhaps she was more comfortable with a critical hit build. She would have performed better with a sustainy Blade of the Rune King setup. Maybe not. But she did have trouble. Now, if she did get Blade of the Rune King, she could have had some sustainability in lane, meaning you just keep farming minions, and if you do get a couple of hits taken, you can just get that health back and farm your minions with that. So maybe it would have been more prudent in terms of not dueling, but sustain. The Jax went for a normal sort of Jax all offensive type build with Rage Blade and Sated Devour, and this stuff is good, really great for taking down objectives, Dragon and whatnot. As far as his dueling capabilities, they were a little lackluster, but as far as these items go, they were fine. There's nothing wrong with those items at all. For taking down objectives, especially fast, like, these are great items. Some survivability with Hex Drinker for Annie, and that's fine. Syndra, all great, awesome items. You got Boots of the City for cooldown reduction. You got Luden's Echo for that extra boost of energy. This is for Annie or any subsequent magic or Orianna. And then you got cooldown. The more Economicon, except for the cooldown, it has really not too many other uses because none of these guys really rely on healing too much. So if she would have went for another item, it would have been okay. Like the defensive item that gives you more MR, the same base mana regen, I think, or maybe even more, and a little less ability power, the same cooldown, but it gives you a little more MR. That might not have been what she needed because she felt like she could still take the Annie and whatnot. But if there was situations where she could have avoided or she could have lived because Annie did like a kill shot on her. I feel like that defensive MR item kind of. I think it's Athane's Holy Grail. I think it's called. I think that would have worked better for her. Or else maybe a solid damage item. Like a solid damage item, like Death Cap, because right now only Pantheon has Hex Drinker. That's a little bit of magic resist, but that would have been so. Yeah, maybe she could have gone magic resist, like a Void Staff or a to deal with the Pantheon. So yeah, that would have been a better choice in my opinion, right there. Because the unique pass to dealing with magic damage and inflict grievous runes, that's for champions much like Mundo that have a lot of healing capacity, that keep healing and healing. So if you get them a certain, if you get them 40% low, and grievous wounds is their healing is reduced significantly, or they can't heal at all, something like that. Lucian, these are great items for Lucians. You build into your Essence Reaver, and then Rapid Fire Cannon, or sometimes you can go Static Fire, Static Shiv, but this is usually the second item that a lot of ADCs will go for, and Lord Dominik regards to deal with our very tanky team. We've got Hybrid Tanky, and then all tanky right there. And then Jax was going to be building tanky later on. The Fiora looks like a fairly common Fiora build. It might have been, she might have had trouble because she was building offensive items. I noticed that she has Ravenous Hydra right now, but maybe she would have. Well, when a Fiora, maybe building a Triforce or something first or something would enable or maybe going for Triforce items before going for a full Ravenous Hydra, maybe like keep Tiamat or something like that, or just get some sustain, some lifesteal. Maybe the Phage and going for something like Giant Spell, that would have been better for her to survive, because if you don't think you can duel your partner, just try to get some sustain for the minions. And then life, such as items like Phage, is going to be great for move. You're going to be able to move quicker, or you're this kind of. It is a duelist champion, but if you don't have the skills to duel, Phage is a great item. Giant's Belt going into Dead Man's Plate is a good item because of the mobility, or if you can get a few trades off, but not as many as you'd like, Trinity Force is good because it gives you health, it gives you speed, it gives you some critical attack, and you get a proc from your Sheen, which may make up for the lack of damage that you're outputting overall. But it also makes it deadly to go in a duel with Jarvan, because he has sustain and he has a full combo. And if you get stuck in that little thing, you basically have to know exactly what to do to get out. So she wasn't prepared for the Jarvan top. Pantheon looks like standard Pantheon stuff. You go Warrior and you get your Dead Man's Plate, and you're going around with your Swift boots. This is totally fine. You can really get around the map and cause some damage. Looks like he was going for a Hex Drinker, which is a great item. Which is great. Where for our Cinder was quite ahead, and that works well with Pantheon. And the Orianna, like I said before, Orianna needs items. She can still make this work, but later you'd have to wait so late in the game to get items, because as you can see, for a champion to need items, she's got like. It's good to have like almost like 5 items, and that's where Jarvan is. Jarvan is 5 items going on 6, and he's over double. So to for what she's earned in the game so far, 7.3k, and the game lasted 30 minutes. You'd almost say that the game would have to last 20-25 minutes more for her to get 5-item build or something equivocal, or maybe even lasting 60 minutes. And the problem with that is games last much shorter, and they even told us in when they uploaded the new patch that because of how the turrets had less health, and then the inner turrets actually have like less defenses, less health, they're gonna fall quicker. So games are naturally gonna end much quicker. So hoping that the game is going to last out 60 minutes is not a good idea, and that's why I feel Orianna support really falls off. You might get some, there might be some pluses somewhere in there in like level 3 or something, but overall you're looking at a pretty deficient support. All right, hope you guys enjoy the video. All right, I will see you guys later.